Welcome to Blankos. You probably just bought a Founders Pack and you're wondering, how do I build in Blankos? Well, I'm going to teach you today with this basic beginner guide, so let's get started. First, we're going to hit 1 to enter float mode. I'm going to go over some of the basic keys here. We have space to fly up and shift to fly down. It's going to vary on Xbox controls, and I'll make another tutorial on that as well. You're going to hold left control to boost around, and you also WASD to move around. You're going to hold left alt to slow things down so you can get more precise movements when you're moving stuff around. Z to undo, and Y to redo your previous actions in the world. Next, we're going to go open the quick access menu here. You can navigate it using the WASD keys, or you can use the different arrow keys to navigate around as well. This is going to get you all of your basic things like the basics, the decorations, the interactables, the lights and the structures. There's not a whole lot of options right now in the build menu, but I'm sure that there's going to be more as the game updates. You can use Q to close it, or you can use Escape to close the quick access menu. You can also open inventory using F, and this is going to give you a more user interface layout of things that isn't as quick. Through here, you can go through and select some different items that you want to use. There currently is not a favorite option, but it's there, so it will definitely be there in future updates where you're going to be able to favorite objects that you want to use and then be able to go back to those and use those a lot quicker. So I'm going to hit escape to go out of there. Next, we're going to go into the edit menu using E. So we're going to click our block here and press E in order to access it. So now that we're in the edit menu, we're going to go over some of the different basics that you can do in this. So right now, I'm in the snap mode none. Snap mode is going to allow you to snap your object to different things, different parts, and different objects in your world. It's going to make it a lot easier for organizing things. So by pressing 3, you can change your snap mode. So right now I'm in snap mode grid. In the grid, you're going to be able to change where your object is based on a grid that is laid out on the map. You can change your grid level by pressing the number 4. This is going to allow you to change just how big the grid is, the different options that you have, and so how the grid works is each individual block that it has is going to be how much it's going to move on it, as well as up and down. So if you need more precise movements, you're going to be wanting the smaller grid compared to something like this bigger grid up here. So the next snap mode is going to be the object snap mode, and as you see now there are these blue circles on my object. Well, every object has some sort of blue circle on it, and I have some objects here to show you kind of how that works. So they're going to snap according to the blue object and where you place it on it. So compared to my cube over here, it's also going to change direction depending on where it's snapped to. Some of them have different snap locations and they all kind of vary. Like here's the cube, for example, and then on this arch you have a snap mode on the right side of it in the middle as well as on the top and on the side. But then for something like this, like the tunnel, it's going to work like it's a cube just because you're not going to be able to snap on the corners here like that. So I'm going to press right click in order to cancel it and put it back to where it was before I even clicked it. Now to select objects, all you have to do is left click. If you want to select multiple objects, you just have to left click again. This game also has a group mode where you can group objects together. So let me press C to copy this over, and while I'm on the snap mode object, I'm going to snap it to next to it, snap it together, snap it again, and then I'm going to click all 3 and press G to group it together. This is going to create a group that I can then move around at my leisure. This is going to work the same as a single object, and I'm going to right click to cancel to put it back again. The good thing about a group is if you have a group, if you select one of the objects in the group, it's just going to unselect it and then you can move the other stuff around. Now if you want to do kind of reverse select with it, you're going to left click it, left click the object you want to edit, and then press G to group together the objects that you don't have selected. This is going to group these together, but then leave this separate and allow me to edit it separately. Then whenever I want to edit it back again, I can just click all 3 and hit group again, and now I have it in whatever position I want. So So now we're going to talk about some of the different rotation settings that we have. I'm going to hit Z to undo my actions here so I can just get back here. So I'm going to take this and go into edit mode and bring it back in. And some cool things that you can do. So if you press 2, you can actually rotate and scale your object. Now it has some different rotation angle snap modes that you can change using the number 3. So you have a couple different options here. It starts out with 15-degree rotations. If you press 3 again, you're going to go to 45-degree rotations. If you press 3 again, you're going to go to 90-degree rotations. If you press 3 one more time, it's going to allow you to go into a free rotate mode, where you can rotate it at whatever angle you want to rotate it. Now, if you hold B, you can actually reset the rotation back to whatever it was. If you press B without holding it, you're going to be able to change the axis that you can rotate it on. So if you press B once, it's going to change it to this axis. If I press it again, it's going to change it to a different axis. If I ever just want to reset my rotation, again, just remember you can hold B and you can go back to the original position. The next thing that you can do is you can cycle the scale by using the middle mouse button. By going up with the middle mouse button, you're going to be able to scale it up. The good thing about this is even if it gets so big, if you do it one more time, it's going to go back to the smallest setting after you get to the biggest one. And so some of the last keys you're going to want to know about is 1, to enter run mode. Now this is going to allow you to run around your game and test some things out, but if you want to actually test it out like a normal player would, you press 2 while in run mode and it's going to toggle interactives on. Now this is going to be for if you have interactives in the game such as cannons, lights, etc. This is going to toggle it so that you can check all of that out as well as the different settings such as day and night. Now, you're probably wondering, how do I set up my game to be a shooter, a racer, or any of the above? So if you go into the fly mode and you hit tab, this is going to allow you to open up the block settings. You're going to be able to change the name of your place, the timer, the amount of time that they spend in it. You can decide if you want it to be a trials mode or not, the play mode, the minimum players, the max players, time of day, and if you want it to cycle time or not. So some of the different play modes are free-for-all, teams, and then in your game settings over to the right, you're going to be able to choose which main game type. Now this is very important. So when you choose the main game type, it's also going to give you more settings over to the right that allows you to choose how they win, if there's other type of game modes going on, and things like the starting ammo, max ammo, and some of the different other options like friendly fire. It also shows you the leaderboard for your game and some different options for there. I'm assuming they're going to add more stuff here since it says coming soon. It also allows you to change whether or not you want flight mode to be in your game. You can also change the soundtrack that people listen to while you're in your game. So I'm going to hit escape to go out of that. And then that's pretty much going to sum it up for what you can do in this main basic beginner's guide. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want more videos like this, and comment down below if there's anything I forgot to mention you want covered, or something like a build tutorial that you want to learn how to do for your Blankos game.